You're listening to the My 1 Cent podcast. Thanks and enjoy.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Greetings and salutations from the My 1 Cent podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to what always is and should be another great episode. Thank you for joining me. I know I ain't pumping them out like I normally am, or I can't even say that either because I normally ain't pumping them out. We're trying new things. I'm working on some stuff, so my consistency hasn't been there, but it will be. It will be. So just bear with me. And, you're going to get all the good shit. So, speaking of the good shit, I hope you like the new intro music. That's also something that's going to get tweaked. Right now, I'm just messing around with some stuff. So, I hope that one gets you going. It got me going. It got me ready to go. So, actually, before we get into what I was going to talk about today. Love. Just a little tease. I started to think, because as you can see, I'm going solo today, which is, like I said before, going to be the norm, because, like I said, the show started me by myself. I will be bringing on the boys back on, like I said, not to be a dead horse and to sound like a broken record, but I like to keep, y'all informed on what's going on with the show. And I'll be bringing the boys back on, we get closer to the season and whatnot, and also, I'm also working on bringing on other guests, other podcasters, and, maybe going on some other podcasts. And so I'll keep everyone informed to the new things happening. But so it made me think, if I'm going solo, there's a good chance there's not. Well, today, for sure, there's no sports. Well, until I thought about this. But my original, show sheet didn't have a speck of sports on it. So I said, well, what about the people? Because I'm all about the people, Got to give the people what they want. I'm all about the people, and so I am the people's podcast. This is the people's podcast, and I just made it. And so I said, okay, well, maybe I'll throw in a little segment at the beginning of the show, just a quick rundown of what's going on. It's because there's not much going on right now. You got the NBA playoffs going on, which I actually have on in the background right now. Normally, I don't get a chance to have a TV on when I'm doing the podcast because I do it downstairs in the dining room area, actually. I don't have a bedroom, an extra bedroom to do it, or an office or anything like that. Not now. So, I move it around from time to time. Sometimes I'll do it in the living room on the couch. I have the little couch set up when I did video, because this is not video. Right now, we're going to be doing audio for a little bit. I will be posting to YouTube, but you won't get to see this pretty face as much. And today I'm trying something different. I'm actually doing it in the bedroom. I'm actually sitting on my bed right now as we speak, talking to y'all. And I have the game on the TV in the room, in the background. And right now, well, we'll get into that in a second. I don't want to, even though by the time someone listens to this game is going to be well and done. And so it won't really matter that the 76ers are up 28-20 at the end of the first quarter. So, with all that being said, I figured, why not give them a little something to get their beak wet with the sports? Because, like I said, there's not much going on. And, why don't we go ahead and jump on that? So, without further ado, and away we go. Starting off in the Western Conference, the Jazz and the Clippers play tonight. The Jazz have a 2-1 series lead. Do they extend that to a 3-1 series lead, or do the Clippers tie that up? And in the other series in the West, the Suns swept the Nuggets. Nothing more to say about that. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, the 76ers and the Hawks, who are playing currently right now. 76ers have a 2-1 series lead in that series, and the Nets and the Bucks are all tied up. And in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins have signed another New England offensive lineman. And, not that they needed help, which, every team could use help, especially a guy like that. The Tennessee Titans have signed, or traded, for Julio Jones. So that's pretty fucking scary to think about. So there you go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed My Sports Minute. Boom. Brought to you by the Mountains. Well, not brought to you by my show because I don't sponsor shit. I had a paper out. Who the hell with it? Sponsored by me. I pay for this shit. Anyway, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun actually to do. I'm not gonna lie. It was good, fun to get a little bit of music in there and have some fun with it. So today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is about a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, love. All right. I got you. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Love me. I know you guys didn't come on here to hear me sing, but love, and in this case, we got two sides of love today. The first one is gonna be BigLOve, like I call it, and when I explain to you, then you'll understand. And in no way, shape, or form is this a shot at fat people. This is actually a compliment, because where I'm going with this is BigLOve. I think this is a theory of mine, and I'm not, I don't have a whole bunch of research and all. Even though I did try to look some of this stuff up, didn't really find much on it. Found some other stuff that I found was interesting, and I'll bring it up. But fat people, I think fat couples, not just one person being fat, the other not. I think fat couples, overweight, like I'm talking about big love, not chunky love, BigLOve. I'm talking about. Well, here, look, let me give you the backstory so you understand why I even thought about this. And I've had this thing in my head for years. I've thought about this many times. But they recently opened up the pool in our complex. And we were there. And a few of we've been there multiple weekends. And both weekends, we've seen this couple that lives a few blocks down from where we live. And, yeah, they're big. There's some, that's BigLOve right there, boy. Big. I mean, if I had to put a number on it, I think combined, they're probably running around a combined 600-pound life type situation. I mean, the dude he's a big dude. So that, he, on top of the fact that he's tall, he's big. That guy easily has to be at least 350. But, and like I said, disclaimer, this is not a shot at fat people. Because what I'm going to talk about is love. Because it's a beautiful fucking thing. And these you can see how much in love these people are. And my theory has always been that I think fat couples, big couples, are in love with each other more than most people. Than fit couples or skinny couples or just any other combination of couples. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know why I have this thing where I say to myself, maybe because they're both, big. And their love for food, okay, their love for food is something that just adds a connection to them for some reason. I don't know. That's the way I see it. I mean, it's funny. I mean, there's humor to this and all. I'm not sitting here making this a scientific theory, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen it a lot of times. I've seen big couples just show this love for each other, very affectionate. Like these guys, these two in the pool they stayed to their little side in the pool at the shallow end. And they were just on each other constantly. Their faces were really close to each other. They were like rubbing noses, and then she'd turn around and lay on his big belly, and he'd put his arms around her, and it was like kissy here, kissy there. And both times that they were there, that's how it was, and that's cool. I don't got no problem with that at all. Shit, dude. Hey, whatever makes you happy, yo, and that's it. And now, I say love is a beautiful thing, but I don't know if what happens in their bedroom is a beautiful. At least I don't know if it's a beautiful sight, but hey, bro, again, this is not a shot. But it is, you got to put reality into this shit, too. And it's funny, because, people go crazy about the whole, weight and how you have to look, and I get it. Look, my girl loves to work out, and, she likes to be in shape, and good. And she pushes me to do the same thing, and I have. I've lost about 20 pounds in the last few months. I've been riding my bike every day and doing it, watching my mouth and stuff. So I'm all for it. But I also feel like some people just are happy the way they are. And that's how I feel. To me, that adds to that connection that they have. That they don't have they're not sitting there worried about their weight. I bet you those people are not worried about their weight. I mean, they should be. And, worried in the sense of like, you know what? Look, are you going anywhere? I'm not going anywhere. And we're good. Now, I will say this. At any moment in time, these people better live to the fullest, because at any point, any one of them, if not at the same time, can drop dead of a heart attack. I mean, the health risks are there, obviously. But don't they say love conquers all? I don't know if love will conquer, cardiac arrest, but hey, it's working so far, And I don't know, but like I said, I don't know if any of you guys agree with me. And if you do, and if you don't, let me know. My One Cent Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. MyOneCentPodcast@gmail.com. Soon coming up, the MyOneCentPodcast.com. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Teespring. I updated a new Tumblr. I'm working on some new designs. But feel free to go check out what I have right now. I have some stuff for the ladies. The ladies! Yes. Okay. Fuck. I said I wouldn't do that. Because I steal that shit from Bill Burr. Anyone who's a Bill Burr fan and listen to that would know automatically. They would have been like, look at this fucking guy, bro. So, yeah, okay, Bill, my guy. I couldn't help myself, man. So, there's some stuff for the ladies, for the females. How about that? Let's go with that so I don't copyright stuff, And so check that out, teespring.com. You can find my link tree in my bio on Instagram or Twitter, and that'll take you to all the places you can come find me and find the show. So, yeah, like I said, I've always had this feeling, this theory, not scientific, obviously, that big people just love more, bro. And they love each other more. They're just... Now, again, I've said that, I'll say this. Plenty of people are mad in love with each other. Skinny, fat, a gordia flaco, like they say. So it's not about just that, but I mean, I don't know. It's just different to me. But while I was messing around and Googling some bullshit about, fat couples love more than skinny couples, that's actually what I wrote in the Google. Do fat couples love more than skinny couples? Ridiculous. But hey, it's Google, bro. Don't you say you can find anything there? And so, some stuff came up, regarding, because that whole thing about skinny guys like big girls or big girls who like a skinny guy. And believe me, there's plenty. Look, there's somebody for everybody, bro. Whether you find them, that's another story. Or they might just walk by you and then you'll never know. But they're out there. See, just because they say it doesn't mean that you're actually going to find them. So, but I do believe there's somebody for everybody. So it's just a matter of, connecting. So, but as I was messing around on the Google, I ran into a show that me and my girl actually watched once. Hold on, I think it's Hot and Heavy is the name. It was on TLC, I think. And it was basically dudes. I think it was mostly the women were big. Dudes who like to date big girls. And these were some big girls. There was one, I'm not going to lie, she had some big old titties. Them big old bitties were nice, bro. I'm not going to lie. I looked at the bitties a couple times. Because to me, there's a difference between fat girls with big boobs and a fat girl with fat boobs. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's fat chicks with... Why am I even getting into this? Fast. I already shot down this rabbit hole. Jack, back counsel, I think he'll back me up on this. But anyway, or maybe not. I don't want to put you in that realm with big girls. I don't like big girls either, but we've all a slump buster here and there. So, I believe there's a difference between big girls who have big boobs and big girls who just are so big that their boobs just look like they're big. And I call them fat boobies. But, okay, I put too much thought into this. Anyway, and again, this is not a slight to anybody. At the end of the day, everybody has to be comfortable with themselves, whether you're big or small or not. I mean, it is what it is. And so, this show showcased a few guys. And good. And there was one, like, the one I can remember, that was with the girl I'm talking about. He was a good-looking dude, bro. That guy is slim. He had a good job. He dressed nice. All that good, all the shit that, like, they would go places, and you would see the looks they would get. It's crazy. Even his friends would be like, man, I don't, But to each his own, bro. To each, well, how is that? To each its own or to each his own? Because it can't be his own. Because it's not just men. You can't just throw men. You don't say to each her own. So I guess it's to each his own. I don't know. Sometimes people say it really fast, so you kind of lose it. So yeah, so I run into those shows which you've seen, and so yeah, there's always like they say that there's black dudes who like fat white chicks. They love, and you can see it. You see it. Come on, you've been enough of them. You've been around people enough, and I know plenty of black folks. I've been in the hood many times. I went to school in a predominantly black school, so yeah, I've seen it myself with my own eyes. And it's fun. Again, it's cool, man. You do what you want to do, bro. I'm not hating on nobody. Everybody has a preference. Go on, bro. Whatever makes you happy, yo. But, you know, there is certain, I don't want to say stigmas, but I guess just certain, I guess stigmas, whatever. I had a word for it, but I lost it in my own head. So, cause I'm in the middle of this, in my mind, I'm transitioning to the next topic pretty much already. But as I'm trying to read through some of these notes, and I don't want to forget anything, because I thought this would be a good little, love. Love's a beautiful thing, like I said, bro. Love's a beautiful thing. So, the other side of the love topic that I was referring to is, I guess, the bad side. I mean, I don't even know why I even said love in this aspect. Stop beating around the goddamn bush, I guess, so much. I'm pretty much referring to cheating and infidelity, and mainly the show Cheaters, which, honestly, I love that damn show. It's one of my favorite shows. And for those of you who do know me well enough to know that I'm also a private investigator. And so it's, it holds a special place in my heart, the show. I love that show. And so regarding, like BigLOve, from BigLOve to cheating is like a spectrum. There's, I don't know where the middle fell there, but whatever. This is what happens here, bro. This is just what happens. And so I'm watching the show the other day, because I watch it like in the middle of the night. They have it on, and sometimes on the mornings, early on Saturdays and shit, or Sundays they'll have it on, and I like to watch it. I've always watched it, and I started to think about the host, because they've had a few. Because I just recently, the last one I saw I think it was over the weekend, I saw one, and it was a new guy hosting, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? That's probably what got me deciding to talk about the show, because I've had it in my notes for a while. Because like I said, I love the show, and I'm a PI, and this is the kind of shit I love to talk about. But like, I started watching that episode, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And this is apparently their now current host, which I'll get into the host, because I want to talk about the host, because they've had a couple and some interesting stories regarding the host. At least two of them. And this guy, Peter Guns, apparently has been the host since 2020. And I don't know, man, he looks like a fucking thug to me. He barely spoke on the episode I saw. I'm sorry. I think you killed that vibe that the show had regarding its host, and the way they, gave information, and the way they talked to the, I'm doing air quotes, clients. Because don't get me wrong, I know some of the stuff is real, but I also know there's some scripted stuff. I don't think that I'm sitting here thinking this shit is 100%, legit. No, it ain't. Nothing. None of these damn reality shows are 100% legit. Excuse me, I need a little parched. So, yeah, you know what? Let's break down. Let's go through these hosts real quick, because the show's been around for 21 seasons, which I did not know that till today. Actually, I thought the show had already ended, and apparently it's still going. It's still current, and they still are filming with this Peter Guns guy. Well, look, a few things they lost with this Peter Guns guy. One, the wardrobe, because he's wearing a sweatshirt and some shoes, some jeans, and some sneakers, and a hat backwards. And then, you had the original Tommy, I would say his name, Tommy Habib. I could never deal with that hair. Okay, if you guys hear me, might be a little far and then a little close again, because my mic's fixed to one spot, and I'm trying to just move a little bit here and there. Yeah, so just bear with me on that. I'm gonna try to keep it closer to the mic, but if it's annoying, I don't know what to tell you. I just hope you can, fight your way through it to listen to the rest of the show. So Tommy Habib, and I was gonna look up where these guys are now, and I forgot. I was watching Catfish, the last episode of Catfish. I still can't believe that I love that show now. As much as I used to hate that shit and talk shit about it, I love that goddamn show. Jesus Christ. So I was watching the last few episodes that came out recently, and so, and I've said it many times. There's not real much fact checking going on here. I'm gonna put out the information. I'll do a little bit, but it's fun to just sit here and not really focus on the facts and just spew out a bunch of bullshit that has some truth to it. I don't know. Rabbit hole. So anyway, Tommy Habib, that hair. Like I said, I couldn't deal with that hair. That hair was crazy. But, you know what? He dressed clean. He wore a suit. He was a big guy. And he spoke clearly to the people. And he was trying... This is what I'm referring to as far as what I feel like they might have lost with this Guns guy. The other three guys, Tommy Habib, Joey Greco, and Clark Gable III, and yes, I just found out he is related to Clark Gable. I just always thought it was one of those people who changed their name to that to get into show business. No, that's his grandson. Some unfortunate news there too, but I'll get to that in a second. Those guys dressed good, spoke well, and they always tried to, console the client, Mostly the women. When it was a guy, they're not trying to, they weren't dicks, but I haven't seen enough of this Peter Guns guy to really, say how he does with this episode. He was horrible. I barely heard him even speak. But anyway, so Tommy Habib was there for 2 years. Then Joey Greco took over for 10 years. Joey Greco's an interesting story because supposedly, air quotes again, got stabbed. Now, this is where I fall into the whole scripted shit. Some people say it was, some people say it wasn't. I don't know. It is what it is. He survived, obviously. Now, as far as he goes, I do know what he's up to now. From what I understand, he's a real estate agent and some other shit. I looked it up, but I forgot. But he did that for 10 years for them. And, I like... The one thing about the show that me and my girl always laugh about is the way they talk and the things that they say. And, the fact-finding mission, oh man, I should have wrote some of those terms I heard the other day. They were really good. The infidelity, the way you try to use the big words and stuff, and like that intro at the beginning where it says if your lover has strayed, but they use a certain term that's just fucking hilarious, bro. It just makes me laugh. And so, but he always spoke well, and but he had that slow speech, like he was making sure he didn't fuck up any of the words and shit. And yeah, but you know what I never saw? I didn't see the episode that he got stabbed in. I've seen a lot of their episodes, and I've probably never seen. I don't think I've seen that one. I should look it up though to see the legitimacy of it. Do like what Cinephobe does, where they take poorly rated movies and see if they were really poorly rated or they got a bad shot. And I should do that with that episode. Watch it and see if it, what kind of rating I would give it as far as reality, how real it looks. If that was done for ratings, they're stupid. Because, if somebody actually could have gotten hurt. But, whatever. So, you go from Greco, 2002 to 2012, to Clark Gable III, who was there for a good spell, too. He was there for 6 years. Might have been there longer if he didn't die from a drug overdose, by the way. That was where I was going to say some sad news. So, unfortunately, Clark Gable III passed away in 2019 of a drug overdose. Now that guy, and I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, which I'm not going to. These are my points about him as the host. It's not a shot or nothing. He used to come in at an act, like he would turn, the way he would walk in and turn to speak, when the show started and stuff, and then he'd hold his hands like up. It was funny. It was funny. Again, I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead. I mean, shit happens. I don't know what to tell you, but it's funny to me the way he would come in and stand there, and he'd come and do this spin, and start talking. But it's the way he would talk to. It'd be funny. And the funny thing is that the last episode I saw with him in it, which was like last week I think it was, I had already known about this. I'm looking at him and I'm already saying, yo, he looks high. I'm already fucking judging. I'm already like, yep, guilty as a motherfucker. Look at him. I'm already looking at his eyes. I'm like, yep, that motherfucker's high right now, bitch. But we never know what these people go through and what. I mean, dude, you're talking about the grandson of Clark Gable. Who knows what kind of life he had or what kind of shit he saw? I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean to kill himself. But I don't know how people get into those big drugs, bro. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to make this show somber as fuck. It's unfortunate. Rest in peace, sir. You provided a service to us Cheaters fans. And like I said, so this now current day of Peter Guns. And whatever. We'll see how far that takes them. Shit, hey, if they want, I'll host that shit. I even thought about one time when I was earlier, when I was younger, of applying to be one of their PIs. Fuck yeah. Shit. Now, I wouldn't do some of the stuff they do. Because they'd be pulling some stunts that, the reality part isn't there. I'll give you a perfect example. The last episode I saw, which was the one with this fucking guy, The investigator was recording from a window outside the apartment. Okay, and you can't do that. That's illegal. Now we're going to get a little more serious about it. That's illegal. You can't do that. And at one point I'm thinking, well, I know maybe some states are different, but no. It's illegal. You always got to remember, nowhere where the person expects just even the slightest amount of privacy. For example, the backyard as well. You can't go and sneak into their backyard and try to record them. You can't go and maybe jump into somebody else's backyard and try to record them in their own backyard. Those are those areas where they expect their privacy. So you can't break that. Now, when I was in school, I could swear that our professor, because I went to school to get my degree in private investigation services. I have my AS in that. And so I remember one of the professors, we were talking about this. And if I'm not mistaken, and I looked it up and I couldn't find it, unless this has been a while since I was in school. I mean, we're talking maybe 15 years. More than that, probably. From what I understood was that if the person walks out of their front door, I'm sitting outside in my car watching them, and the person walks out of their front door and leaves their front door open, and I'm recording the subject on his porch or in front of his door, and something goes by that door, any video that I catch, any activity I catch in that door frame is legal. Now, I didn't get that from my research today. I could probably dig a little deeper. Excuse me. You gotta remember, this isn't a video where people can see me. I'm about to drink water. Here you don't see that, but you hear it when it starts happening. So, bear with me there. The throat's getting a little dry today. What happens for not talking on a regular basis like I used to. So, yeah, there's a lot of shit that these guys do that, going on. But there is certain things that are different in different states. For example, down here. And this is not a PI thing. This is just an example of how things could be different in certain states. Here, unless they've changed it, because I haven't looked this up in a while, if you own a residence, for example, I'll give you an example. I'm a landlord, excuse me. I have an apartment that I rent out. And I put a camera in the bathroom, for example. I rent it to a hot chick, and I install a hidden camera in the bathroom. As long as there's no sound, it's legal. Now, things might have changed since that was a thing. Because I haven't checked that up. But that definitely was a thing. So, it's crazy. Like, different different states have different rules for different shit. But apparently the one of, you can't film through somebody's window, that's pretty much a general rule around the country. Yeah, because if you think about that shit, bro, if you could do shit like that, then you'd be getting shit constantly. You catch a bunch of shit. Because let me tell you something. From my experience, there's people who are really good at cheating, and the only way you'd probably get something on them is if you walk up to some place they're at and go inside, try to record them through the window. Pretty much it. There's people that are really good. I mean, that never happened to me because I was a pimp, but I was a Magnum PI and got shit on me. So, yeah, that's don't be fooled, people. Listen, seriously, don't be fooled by what you see in the movies, bro. We don't get that kind of luxury to be able to do the kind of things that we can't break into fucking houses or break into businesses and go through people's files and shit. That stuff is bullshit. First of all, none of that stuff holds up in court. Okay, that's the start. And two, it's illegal. Like you're trespassing or breaking and entering. I don't care what the fuck you do. So yeah, but as I was, writing my notes and stuff for the show and the stuff that I wanted to touch on, this question came to my mind, and this is for you guys. If you were to get cheated on, which nobody wants to get cheated on, but what in your opinion, what do you think would be worse? To have your girl or your man cheat on you with somebody that you guys know, like a friend, somebody who's been around, or a random stranger, a person that you don't know and that they met, randomly? Because I don't know. I can see the pros and cons on both. If they cheated on you with someone you knew, at least you have that. You know who it is. You can say, okay, well, I don't, I know he's not a fucking, you don't got AIDS, or you don't have, gonorrhea. Well, you don't really know what some people have. But I'm saying, for the most part, you have that one sense, only that little sense of somebody you knew. So if she or he, came home from having sex with that person and wasn't protected, then, again, that doesn't really matter that you know them, that keep you from getting fucking sick or whatever, catching something. But I'm saying, I just feel like the percentages are a little less. Then, if they're seeing somebody you don't know, and just some random person on the street that they met, and, who the fuck, what do you know what that person has? That's another thing. Again, nobody wants to get fucking cheated on, but if you're going to get cheated on, at least hope that your partner's smart enough to use protection, because, goddamn, either bring something to somebody or fucking pregnate. Get pregnant or impregnate. That has to be the worst, man. That has to be the worst, man. Be cheating on somebody and then find out that either you got pregnant or you impregnated somebody. I think it's got to be worse for women, too. Meaning the woman's cheating on her man and she gets pregnant by the other guy. That's got to be shitty feeling. Because at least if a guy impregnates the girl that he's cheating with, whatever. He can deny it until the DNA test, bro. Fuck it. But you can't deny the belly. You can't deny a baby popping out your vagina 9 months later. There's no denying that. Now, plenty of women have lied and said, this is the guy never even knew that she was fucking another dude. Okay, I'm sure there's plenty of children who have been raised by not their actual DNA daddy. So, and that's fucked up. Let me tell you, I didn't want to make this gloomy or nothing, but we kind of, this part kind of heads that way a little bit. That is one fucked up thing to do to somebody. Look, cheating on somebody is one thing. That's fucked up. But to cheat on somebody, get pregnant by the person you were cheating on that person with, stay with the person you were with, and make that person believe that the child that you had is his. Now, that would work if, they're all white and shit. That ain't gonna work if the couple's white and the guy's black or Hispanic and a little dark. Because the little color on that baby, that blonde man ain't doing no color on no baby. Test tube baby. Yeah, so, listen, there's some fucked up shit in this world, and that's on the list of some of the more fucked up things to do to somebody, bro. Jesus, man. Now, look, if you tell the guy, listen, man, this is not your kid, I fucked up, but I love you and I want to be with you and I want to raise this kid together. And that guy sticks around for that, then you know what, dude? One, you're an idiot, but two, then you know what? It's one of those deals it's stupid, but if you love the girl and, I don't know, bro, you're willing to do that, I guess that's somewhat, not complimentary, damn, I had a word for that shit too. Not commemorate. God damn it, why does this keep happening to me? Point is, you can say, okay, well, whatever, that takes I don't even know, because I know the dudes out there listening to this are going to be like, no, bro, it doesn't take a big man to do that. It takes a moron, it takes a pussy to let his girl get pregnant by another dude and still take care of that baby. So, I don't see a win here for me trying to convince you guys that there's a moral, victory in there somewhere by doing that. No, I can't see that. Look, and I'll tell you, my ex-wife cheated on me, and I stayed with her for another 2 years after that. No, I learned my lesson from that. That would never happen again. But I was in love, and I was married, and and I'm not whatever. I don't care. The people who know me know this shit about me, so I don't really give a shit. At this point, either I don't care who knows about anything about that relationship, to be honest with you. But yeah, so that's why when I talk about this stuff, I have I lived it. And it's one of the worst feelings in the world. Not to somber the moment, because I think we kind of brought it back up to a little humor. It sucks. It's a really, really shitty feeling to get cheated on. And I fucked up because I had a little audio I wanted to play before I started doing this, but it kind of, my rabbit hole isms happened, and so I didn't really do the transition that I wanted to, so I'm just going to play it for you anyway, because I think it's funny.
Cheater. Part of speech, noun. Definition: one who deceives by trickery, one who is unfaithful, particularly in a relationship. Used in a sentence: the person calling you right now is a cheater, and the lying, cheating piece of shit should go directly to voicemail.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh man, that's good. That was funny. So yeah, it's pretty fucked up. It's not fun, bro. But so like I said, for those of you who are listening, what do you think is worse? And if you give me a second, I'm going to re-energize. What's worse? And let me know what you think. My One Cent Podcast on Instagram, My One Cent Podcast on Twitter, My One Cent Podcast at Gmail. Hit me up. Tell me what you guys think. What's worse, being cheated on with somebody you know or somebody that you don't? Because I mean, like I said, it has its pros and cons. I mean, well, they're both one big ass con, obviously, because nobody wants that. But people say you should always try to look to both sides of the coin, or try to look at for a positive and a negative, I guess, in all situations. And in this one, the only way I can see any kind of positive is if, like I said, if you messing around with somebody that y'all know, then you have some kind of at least comfort when you find out, in that knowledge of that maybe she didn't bring nothing home, or he didn't bring nothing home to you. But man, when it's somebody you don't know, and it's not just about that. It's about the unknown, about not knowing who the person even is. Because at least if you know who it is, you can be like, yo, motherfucker, what the fuck? And you can call that motherfucker out. You can go. You know exactly who he is. You know where to go. You know where to find him. But if you don't know the person, you just know that it's somebody that you don't know. Dude, that is horrible. And I know that happened to me because I didn't know who the dude was. So, through my mind, starts running like, who the fuck could it be? And so, yeah, I've been on that side of it. I haven't been on the side of knowing the person. So, I wouldn't have any, I don't have any, any, as far as, experience with that, none. But I do have the experience of, being cheated on with somebody that I don't know. And man, that could be a whole other podcast right there, bro. That could be a whole other podcast. Oh, fuck. It's crazy. It's funny because you'd think I'm a PI. Why? How could I get cheated on? Well, the fact that I'm a PI was the reason I found out. I mean, you at the end of the day, women, in my opinion, women are better cheaters than men. Yeah, they're way better at it mainly because guys are kind of gullible too, and then we believe a lot of shit. Hence myself. Yeah. So we're gullible, so that helps in the sense of that making it easier for them to be good at it. Believe me, there's plenty of dudes that are good at it too. I've did a bunch of cases on guys that I couldn't catch, and I knew they were up to no good, but we just couldn't get them because they were slick, they were smart. Actually, I've been thinking that because I am considering going back to work as a PI, I'm thinking of either starting another podcast or doing, special episodes of, cases that I'm working on. Obviously, no names and any of that information will be out there, but at least, the story itself, and, get you guys out some information, stories about that, which I think will be pretty entertaining. Because I got to do some stuff sometimes, bro, to keep up with these people. I got to pull some stunts on the road. I got to pull some tricks out of my hat to get footage sometimes on these people. And some of the stories were fun. I mean, I'll give you just a small snippet of one. Following the subject, it turns out he was actually cheating on his wife with his secretary, which is why it was hard for them to catch him, because it was happening. It was right there. He didn't have to go anywhere. He didn't have to pick nobody up from another area. And, until they put me on the case, they didn't find out. But, of course, they put me on it, and then results come from that, because they were smart. Wow, tooting my own horn, boy. So we're driving, and I wanted to get a better shot, because I was getting plenty of footage. I mean, they were driving, he was in his minivan, because he has kids and shit, and they were no tints or nothing. So every time they'd get at a stop sign, boom, they'd start making out. She'd reach over to the middle, and he'd come to the middle, and they'd make out. So I was getting plenty of footage. But I wanted, to make no mistake about it. And mind you, when I'm taking these videos of this going on behind them, I'm constantly taking a shot of the tag, and then back up to them, and back, so that there's not a single inch or speck of, why do I keep fucking up my word, losing my word? Of doubt that's them, that's him. And so what I did was, we were in traffic, so I took a shot, because I had a lot of footage. See, there's certain times that you can take more of a chance with things because you have footage. If you ain't got shit, you better play your cards right, you better play it smart, and you better be conservative, because if you go aggressive and you lose them, you're fucked. So at this point, I've had a good amount of footage on them, doing their little activity. So I decided to go and get in front of them now. So I change lanes, and I go up next to them, a car length in front of them in the other lane. So now I can record them from my side mirror, and I can get their faces, which is what I did. And a lot of tongue and a lot of swap and spit was going on. So at one point, we're moving, and he's homeboy's looking for hotels. We're by the airport, and he's by the airport looking at these hotels. And at one point, like I said, at a certain point, when you have good footage, you can be more aggressive with certain things, so you can maybe get some better footage. Well, I attempted to do that, and I don't know what he did. He was like trying to get out of the parking lot, and I didn't notice that there wasn't an entrance where he was coming out towards. You really couldn't see it. I don't think he did either, because he had to back up. And right there, we kind of like crossed paths, and he looked at me, and the lady said something to him, and they just like split, and he looked at me. And okay, I'm gonna admit this, and I did it then, and I'll never do it again. It was very unprofessional. But he gave me this look as like he knew what I was there for, and I just did the cutthroat. I guess this was more than a snippet that I thought. I gave him the cutthroat, dude. I fucking lowered my window, and I gave him the cutthroat sign, dude, and I took off. So, to end this story, I talked to my boss later on that night, after I was able to put the video together and I got it to him. And this is what he tells me. He calls me and tells me that the client just called him and said that her husband came home and told her that he had to fire his secretary because she made a pass at him. Not knowing, though, that she already knew all of this. But he knew there was something. He knew that he was being watched. He knew already. Now, whether he knew that there was any footage or not, whether he took my cutthroat as a sign saying you're fucked, I don't know. Because he took a shot. He took a shot. He went home and he tried to play it off. From what I understand, she didn't leave him. And like a few months later, she hired us again. But he had to put somebody else on that. I was doing less and less work for him at the time. So he went ahead and put one of his other investigators on it. So I don't know whatever happened with that case. Look, I saw the client, and she was hideous. So I'm sorry to say it, she was fucking hideous. So I kind of understand, but dude, look, the lady's dad owned a bank here in Miami, a couple banks. So there was money in the family, and he was the vice president of the bank. I'm not gonna say the bank. I'll just leave it at that. He was the vice president of the bank. So like, I get it that your wife's horribly ugly, but that's on you for marrying her. But if you married her for the money, then stick it out for the fucking money. The thing was, and this is, I guess maybe, how do I put this? I might be giving out information to guys that'll help them continue to do what they're doing. But whatever, it's not my problem, Maybe by doing that, I'll get more work and I'll come bust your ass. Guys, little word of advice. Don't change your routine if you're fucking around on your girl. Because that's how this guy got caught. And that's how a lot of guys get caught. You know why? Because he was going bald. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to start shaving my head. He grew out a goatee. He started going to the gym. She started to notice patterns changing. Things changing with him. So that's why she got a little fucking suspicious. Dude, if you're going to change patterns, don't change patterns and go away from your girl. Maybe change a pattern here where you're spending a little more time with her, and then your other patterns can change where she's not going to notice them. But if you're just completely changing and doing stuff that you didn't do before and not acknowledging her in any way, you're fucked. You're fucked. I mean, she wasn't a stupid woman. Stupid in the sense yes, that she stayed with him, but not stupid that she didn't notice. She noticed there was something going on, and she was right. Now, it took a minute to catch him. Because, like I said, since he was fucking the secretary, everything was in-house, basically. You know? And I caught him because it was funny. Because earlier in the day, because he parked in a parking garage, and I was stationed outside. I didn't want to park in the garage, because if we start going down, and I get stuck at the thing to pay, because he works there, so he has a car. He comes in and out. I would have had to pay, and if he gets away from it, it would have been a headache, and I didn't want to lose that. I knew we had riding on this case, because I knew that the lady had tried with other people, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't get anything, and she knew it. She was right. So I'm like 3 blocks down the road from the parking garage, but I can see his car clearly, and I'm watching the exit. So anything he does, other than the time frame of him coming down the garage, I'm not gonna be able to see any of that. But I can see him go to his car, and I can see him drive out of the garage. But earlier in the day, I decided to take a drive in the garage just to see if I see anything, and lo and behold, I see people coming out of his vehicle, and 4 people came out. 2 guys and 2 girls. Apparently they went to lunch. So I'm like, okay, I didn't think much of it because they weren't doing anything. They were all just walking to the elevator. I'm like, okay, no problem. But when I'm sitting out there later on in the day that he came out, he was leaving. It was funny too, because I hate when I do. I should have just done the story from the beginning and just run through it, because now I went from the end, now back to the middle, and then whatever. Now I'm kind of taking it back to the beginning of the end, where I'm just gonna take you back to where he came out of the garage, and that was it, because at the end I already gave you all the other information as far as all the footage I got on him and whatnot. So I'm watching the car. That's all I have to do, watch the car. So I forgot, I don't even remember what time it was. It was close to the end of the day, 3, 4, or 5, something like that. And there he comes out. I see him. Okay, boom, hit record. My camera's on. Let's go. And so he takes his jacket off. He's wearing a tie and a suit. Takes jacket, puts his jacket in the car. And dude, I kid you not, he starts doing like Rocky punches in the air. He's like shadow boxing. I don't know what the fuck was that, but I didn't think of it at the time. But in a few seconds later, I kind of understood why. He was getting ready for something. He was pumping himself up for something. So I'm watching him. All of a sudden, boom, there she is. The secretary comes out. Now, at the time, I wasn't sure who she was. But talking to my boss, relayed some information. It turns out by the description that the wife gave us, we confirmed that she was the secretary. And they get in the van together. That's when I'm already like, okay, I see where we're going here. And then whatever, like I said, long story short, they come out. I'm following them the whole way. They don't get off each other. It was a win for me, that's for sure. Yeah, I fucking love that job. I love that fucking job, bro. It's too much fun, bro. It's fun, and it's just something different, dude. It's different. Like, look, a lot of people can't do it. A lot of people can't sit in the car for one time I sat in my car for 16 hours on a Saturday in South Beach. Good thing my car had great AC, because not I would have fucking died out there. Because it was the middle of summer on South Beach. So, and I was in my car for 16 hours. At a certain point, it was like 3 in the morning, and I had already gotten footage of him, fucking around. At one point, this is where I told you, when you have footage, you can do certain things. And also, one of the things you can do, if, you feel that you're at a point where you're like, I'm good, I'm done. And that day I was done, dude. It was a long, long day. And I left. I took some last footage, and I called my boss, and I told him, listen, bro, I lost him, bro. We were coming up to a light. It got yellow. He took it. And there was a cop on the other side of the street, and I didn't want to, at this late and shit, I didn't want to deal with that. So I let him go. But it was a lie, because I was exhausted already. And I had footage. Now, mind you, had I not gotten nothing on him, I would have stuck it out, because he still had to take the girl home. Now, the only thing I didn't get on that case was where the girl lived. I know the area, but I kind of lost sight of him for a second, going into some little complexes and shit. And I caught him coming out. So I never got to see the exact unit she came from. But I got plenty of footage of them, doing stuff, So it was alright. So I would have liked to have stuck it out a little longer to see where she lived, because he had to take her home. But had I not gotten any footage on that, I would have stuck it out a little longer. But it is what it is. Oh man, I don't know if the podcast was. I know it started fun, But then I feel like we did some some stuff where he might have changed the mood a little bit, but then brought it back and then went down again. I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I had fun, and especially when I'm here talking about my PI stuff. I love that stuff. I love talking about my cases, and I love doing the job. And I feel like that's what I was meant to do. Honestly, I used to, when I was younger, I used to think about being a cop and all that stuff, but or even like FBI and shit, stuff like that. But even now, I watch something, I'm like, man, I should have been a fucking FBI agent. Yeah, yes, sir, Johnny Utah. But yeah, I love that shit, and hopefully, if I get back on that, I'm definitely gonna turn it into something to bring you guys the stories, because I think they're fun. And you know what? If you're gonna cheat on your girl, then you deserve to get caught, and you deserve to get fucking put on blast. And you know what? Props to those that get away with it, I guess, too. Because let me tell you, I don't know how some guys do it. Guys, I know of guys that have juggled multiple women while being married. I don't know how the fuck you do it. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. And I don't care, because I don't care to find out. I don't ever want to find out. I don't want to ever know if I can handle that. Look, just for the main reason of I know what it feels like to get cheated on, so I wouldn't want to do it to anybody. But it's too much work, dude. I got enough to deal with one woman. How the fuck am I supposed to deal with 3 or 2? No, man. No, I'm good. I'm good, bro. The way I see it is, if you feel the need you have to go cheat, then just leave your relationship and go be single and just have fun. Plain and simple. I don't see the point of having to go and do that. Unless you're working towards something. For example, if you like I said, what's worse, a person you know or a person not? If it's a person that they know, maybe they already developed a bond with them, and they're working towards a relationship, not necessarily just fucking. Because most of the time, these cheating situations are mostly fucking. Because even the ones that end up getting together after their other relationship fell apart, those still don't last that long. Sometimes they don't last that long. But some people do work towards something, and power to them, more power to them. If that's how your relationship started and you're still together 10, 15, 20 years later, then it was one of those situations probably was meant to be. Maybe it didn't have to go about it that way, but maybe that's the only way it was meant to happen. So it's like the whole Tom Brady thing. I say the only reason Tom Brady became who he became is because he came in the way he came in. He had to come in off an injury, but nobody was saying that he was gonna compete for the starting job the next season or even during the season. He was a 7th round pick, dude. He was just sitting there. So it's one of those things. I don't know. But I feel like every fucking show, man, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then when I finish and I hit end and I'm already editing, I look back at my notes and I go, you stupid motherfucker. You forgot to talk about that. And I know it. I can feel it. I mean, if you can hear my papers flapping in the wind here, I'm looking to see what it is that I might be forgetting. And I'm not going to take too long because I don't want to keep you guys on the holding on there. Yeah, I got everything covered, I guess, for today, for this week. So, everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. I hope that when you do hear this, you're having a great week. It's Monday for me. And horrible day down here, too. The rain has been just all day here in South Florida. It's just been horrible. So I hope you're having a good start to your week. I hope you have a good end to your week. Whatever point in the week you listen to this, I hope you have a great weekend. It's Father's Day weekend, too, coming up this weekend, by the way. So happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there, all the baby daddies. And not the ones that don't care about their kids. You ain't shit. If you have kids and you don't give a shit, you don't deserve to be told Happy Father's Day by nobody. I deserve it more than you. And I don't even have kids. I have 2 stepkids who I love and care about like crazy. I deserve a Happy Father's Day more than some of you deadbeat motherfuckers. So I'm just saying. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you motherfuckers. If you don't take care of your kid, then you ain't shit. So, but Happy Father's Day out there to all the fathers who do care about their kids, which is not something that's hard to do, man. Straight up, especially when they're yours, because you got that bond. And you know what? A Happy Father's Day to the mothers out there that do both jobs, and vice versa on Mother's Day. It's a lot of the dads who are both too. Can't forget those people, because and even the ones that aren't biologically connected to the kids, people who adopt and all that. Same to you guys, because what you do is something special too, boy. To take on someone else's child, in that sense, a stepfather, if I met, like, my girl has 2 kids, but I'd known them from even before me and her got together. So it wasn't a thing of coming into something new and shit. But there's people, in an adoption sense, I think it's like you don't know anything. You're just here. I'm sure there's they give you a background. I don't know how the adoption process works. But yeah, which, not to get again rabbit hole. The I've always had this thing, with the whole gay adoption and stuff. Because I'm not gonna get into all that, but I will say this: even if it's a gay couple who wants to adopt a kid, go for it, bro. Anyone who's willing to give a child a home, you're good, bro. I mean, I have my issues regarding certain things, but that's not what this is about. So, just that's all that really matters. That a kid is gonna get a home, a loving home, and gay people love a lot, so that's fine. Fuck it, it is what it is. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna bid you a farewell and a good night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. I would say thank you for hitting me up, but nobody does. So, how about somebody be the first one? How about that? Let's do this. The first person that doesn't know me personally to hit me up on the show will get a shout out, I guess. And maybe I'll wrangle a prize or some bullshit for you. Maybe like a shirt for the show, a mug. I might make you a My 1 Cent podcast thong. Who knows? Because Teespring's got a lot of shit. So, yes, guys, because my girl always says that I can never end the show right. Because I'm always, continuing to talk. And then I say, oh, well, thank you for joining me. And then I'm doing it right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of the My 1 Cent podcast. And in the great, immortal words of one Johnny Utah, vaya con Dios.